At Stechschulte Nell, we have represented individuals that have been indicted in federal court for racketeering, and we have also represented individuals that have been charged via indictment or a charging document and information in state court for racketeering. Now, when we think of racketeering, I think most people think of the generic version of people being indicted, like the mafia being indicted in New York in the 70s and 80s, and essentially this large criminal enterprise that is committing a host of crimes in coordination with other individuals. That's kind of generally what we see. However, since the 70s and 80s, racketeering has kind of morphed into anything essentially can be what's considered a criminal enterprise for purposes of the U.S. Attorney's Office or Department of Justice prosecuting individuals, or even in state court. So, for example, if an individual is working with other individuals to commit a theft or wire fraud, that can be considered essentially racketeering. It can be considered a criminal enterprise. It's not as if someone needs to set up an LLC for the purpose of committing crimes. Anything can essentially be considered a criminal enterprise if you have multiple individuals that are involved. So it's not just your typical situation like we think of mafia or even gangs or biker gangs or clubs or things of that nature. Certainly that can happen in racketeering cases, and we've represented individuals in those type of cases. But in the event you are charged with racketeering and you don't understand, why am I charged? I wasn't involved in a gang affiliation. In these situations, the U.S. Attorney's Office and state authorities have very wide leeway to charge somebody on the racketeering statute or United States Code. So it's important in the event you are charged and or indicted for racketeering that you have an experienced attorney that understands how to potentially attack that particular aspect, that whether or not you in fact were part of a criminal enterprise, and more importantly, did you actually know what the other individuals were doing, or were you essentially a small player in this alleged criminal enterprise? At Stechschulte Nell, we're very familiar with racketeering prosecutions in both state and federal courts, and we have effectively defended individuals that have been charged and or indicted for those specific offenses.